Welcome to SwissWatchExpo and the GMT function of the Rolex series of watches. Now, we have three different generations of watches here. The one on the far right is the GMT Master, not the Master II. You can tell because when you look at that little portion of the dial, it says GMT Master. Now, this is a GMT Master II. See how it says Master II on the dial? This is also the most updated version of the GMT Master II because it has the same functionality as this watch. So these two watches are similar in how they function, but drastically different in how they look. This has the painted bezel, the tapered lugs. They're both 40 millimeters, but this one has the ceramic bezel. This is called a Batman because it's black and blue on the top and bottom. And then it has the wider lug series, not the tapered lug series. This one also happens to have a Jubilee bracelet, but they also come in the oyster bracelet like the one in this one. So these look very, very different. However, they are the same width and they function the same. Different era. This is an earlier 2000s model, and this is a present day late 2000 teens model. So this one happens to actually be unworn. It has some of the protective stickers on it. The original owner was able to leave them on there, so that's kind of surprising. But here's what we need to do. We need to display the functionality and the differences between these two watches. These are similar watches. They look exactly the same. They're both 40 millimeters. They, in all respects, unless you look at the dial, you probably wouldn't notice the difference between the two, but the movements function differently. Now, here's what the most important thing is about this particular watch. This is the GMT Master I. You see that? No Roman numeral 2 indicator. This watch, the GMT hand, is in synchronous time with the hour hand, what we would consider local time, right? So when you unscrew the crown, this is a water-resistant watch. You can wear it in the water. You're going to pull this out to set the time. We're going to pull that out 2 clicks, all the way out to the edge. We're going to move that hour hand around the dial. Now, see, it says it's the 23rd. Now, how do we know that this is midnight? I know this is midnight because now the GMT hand is at the top of the bezel. I'm going to turn this bezel around to mark the exact so that it doesn't look confusing. It's exactly symmetrical with the triangle for the 12. When I do this, you see it change to the 24th from the 23rd. We know that's midnight. No question. Now, I want to be clear. Never set that date anytime those hands are above the 9 and the 3 a.m. mark. So the 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. because you can crash the date wheel. You can bend it, break it. It may not change on time. It may change slowly. It may not at all. You definitely don't want to do that. So you always want to set the time when the hour hand is in the bottom portion of the dial. Now, we know that's midnight because it just flipped. I'm going to put this at 6 a.m. What you may notice, see that? 6 a.m. Your GMT hand is at 6 a.m. Why? That GMT hand goes around this outside bezel only 1 time per day, whereas this hour hand goes around the inner dial 2 times per day. You with me so far? So watch this GMT hand. This is 6 a.m. This is 6 a.m. Now it's noon. How do we know? Because this GMT hand, when that triangle is properly aligned, is showing that it's noon. See that? It's 12. Now, watch this. Noon. We're going to go to 6 p.m. Now, don't pay attention. We're at 6 p.m. Don't pay attention to that bezel because that's your local time. That's 6 p.m. How do we know? Well, when these are properly aligned, the GMT hand is pointing at the 1800 mark. That's 18 hours out of a 24-hour day. That's 6 p.m. Making sense now. Okay, well, now you're going to say to yourself, well, what if I want to know a different time zone? I don't understand how this tells me a different time zone if this one and this one are in sync. Well, that's a very good question. What you actually do on this model is you move that bezel forward or backwards, depending on how many hours you need to add or subtract. So, in other words, if your local time is here, you're going to add or subtract how many hours you need to measure the time zone where you're going, right? So if you have 1800 hours, it's here, and you need to go up 3 hours. So 18, 19, 20, 21, that's 9 o'clock. You will move 3 hours ahead to 9 o'clock. And now your GMT hand is pointing to whatever time zone you're in, add or subtract 3 hours depending. So you can subtract 3 hours. You see that? That's subtracting 3 hours. You can subtract 3 hours. So 1, 2, 3 hours. You see that? So now you're at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. See, because you subtracted 3 hours. Does it make sense? So 1400 hours is 2, 1300, I'm sorry, 1500. I was trying to go backwards. 1400, 1500, 1600. Makes sense? 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You see that? A little bit complicated. I know you probably don't do that every day. But in order to set the time and the date, always remember the hour hand's in the bottom half of the dial. That's the safety zone. If you need to set the date, just simply pull it out one click, roll the date, set the date, whatever date you need it to be. Push in the crown, screw it down. Push in, screw it down. Okay, a little bit lengthy explanation on that one, but that's because that one's more complicated to understand than this one. This one's easy to understand. This one, same thing, unscrew the crown. A little bit different though. The date flips using the hour hand alone because it independently operates from the GMT hand. Watch this. So it's the 12th. We've picked this watch up. We don't know if that's AM or PM. Well, we're going to find out because I'm going to pull this crown all the way out like I'm going to set the time. And see how that's also going around this outside bezel 1 time per day, but the inner one is chasing it quickly because it goes around 2 times per day. Now watch. See that date set at went to 13 from 12? That's because our hour hand, our local hour hand, passed the 12 and it's set to midnight. So that's how we know now that this is 6 a.m. only because we indicated it by the date flip. But watch this. So where this is noon, right? This is in synchronicity because it shows noon on the bezel, but watch. I'm going to push this all the way back in, pull it out, one click. Now watch this. See that? I'm only adjusting my local time. So let's say I went from one time zone to the next and I wanted to set my local time, but my home time is still noon. Now I can set my independent time to whatever time zone I'm in. So if it was noon, now see how that flipped to 14? That's midnight, right? So this is at noon. This is in synchronicity. So I want to make sure that I keep my home time at noon. Now I'm going to say, well, because it's in synchronicity here, I'm going to move this 1, 2, 3. I'm at 3 o'clock local time. See that? It's noon back home, but it's 3 o'clock local time. Okay. Well, if it's noon back home, and let's say I'm in California, I'd go back 1, 2, 3. It's 9 o'clock local time now, AM, not PM. So it's 9 AM, still registering noon back home because the GMT hand is pointing at the outside bezel, whereas the hour hand local is pointing to your inner ring on your dial, just like you normally would tell time because that's your local time. I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm hoping that's an easy explanation. So just to be clear, that's how you set the local time versus your GMT time. But also, if you want to set your date, you can go forward. See how it changed to 15, 16? If you need to go backwards, you can do that too. 15, 14, 13. Every time you pass midnight, it goes back 1. So now we're setting it back at 9 a.m. on the 13th. So that's how that works differently from GMT Master, GMT Master II. Now, this watch works exactly the same. Modern day watch, unscrew the crown. So right now we don't know, we have no idea what time this watch is telling us that it is. We don't know if that's almost 10 a.m. or almost 10 p.m. So we're unscrewing the crown, and I'm going to pull it out. It's a more recent history watch, so I'm having a little bit of time. My fingernails look terrible. I pulled it all the way out. Same thing, 2 clicks. I'm going to run that hour hand because we don't know. Actually, I'm going to wind the watch first. That's a good idea, right? Wind the watch real good first. Make sure it's running properly. And pull that out. I'm going to run that hour hand past the 12 and see if that date flips. Boom, the date flipped from 11 to 12. That means it's midnight. Put that hour hand in the bottom half of the dial. Now, let's say I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this easy because I really want you all to understand how this works. We're going to put this at noon. And actually, we're going to set the local time to noon. So I'm not paying attention to this. I'm paying attention to this because this GMT hand is pointing to the outside edge of the bezel, and I want it to be noon. This is straight up and down. Everything's aligned. I want it to be noon. So I'm going to move all hands. I'm only paying attention to this hand and that one. Now it's noon. Wherever our local time is indicates that it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, see how we can move the hour hand independently now? So what if we advance it 3 hours? Now it's 3 o'clock. If we're on West Coast time, we move the local hand to 9 o'clock. Now it's 9 a.m. So 3 p.m., 9 a.m. 3 p.m., 9 a.m. Now, let's say you're on the other side of the world. Well, now it's 9 p.m. You see that? Because if you go past the 12, it's changed to 13. So now you're that far out. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions on how to set your GMT, give us a call here at SwissWatchExpo. We'll do everything we can to help you. These are great watches, although they may be a little bit complicated. Remember this, you can also change time zones with your bezel too. That's a little bit more of a complicated understanding. So if you have any questions about it, definitely call us.